Here in Colorado, the drug war started in the 1916 or 1917. This state was run by the Ku Klux Klan. And they realized that the black people and the native Mexican people who were coming here and working for a much lesser amount of money than white people were smoking marijuana and cannabis. So what the Ku Klux Klan did was make marijuana illegal so that they can felonize blacks and Mexicans. They actually came out and said, we don't want any big-lipped niggers or brown-skinned Mexicans owning anything in Colorado. So it was an easy way for them to felonize them and to take them out of the system.
Why in the world do we have millions of innocent young people wasting away in prison when the big people who are committing these huge, atrocious crimes are getting away every day?
What's happening here in America is that our government inadvertently supplying the hard drugs to the people in this country, then they're putting the people who use them in this country in jail.
I think the prevailing view on Wall Street is anyone stupid enough to buy drugs deserves to die. And if you can make money from them while they're doing it, that's great. And if that's imposing a crime wave on a community away from Wall Street, that's okay. There's no drug crime on Wall Street.
I don't like it. They pay cash now, right? They pay cash.
This is crack cocaine.
Drug prohibition for cocaine was basically passed in order to protect white women from black males. And the history will document this.
Cocaine, cocaine, cocaine.
You go to court, you're basically facing an all-white jury, a white judge, a white prosecutor, white court reporter. So it's kind of like a white world. DA agents, they're all white. I mean, in my whole case, I don't think that I've had one black person other than the probation officer in my whole case. I think that the drug war is the last white hope. When you break it all down and you look at it from the ground.
From a federal prison.
Here's the way a private prison works, okay? You pay somebody to build a fancy cage. Then you fill it up as far as you can get it, which is pretty full. Full of people that the people that built the cage get paid $40,000 or $50,000 a year to just keep in the cage.
The ruling class here in America had to come up with something so that they could control certain segments of society so that they could stay in power. So they created the drug war for the felonization of Americans.
I am a former Los Angeles police narcotics detective, and I worked South Central Los Angeles, and I will tell you, Director Deutsch, the agency has dealt drugs throughout this country for a long time. Corporations like Wackenhut, they just changed their name, Corrections Corporation of America, that house prisoners, nonviolent drug offenders. As a matter of fact, I think 60% of the increase in prison population under Bill Clinton, which was like 1 million people, of the 60% of that new prison population are nonviolent drug offenders.
Now, if you've got 5,000 people in your cage and you're being paid $30,000, $40,000 a year for them, that's a lot of money. And if you can, on top of that, use them as your private property, as chattel property, that you can then make do work or produce things that you get paid for on top of that. What a great deal. Now, where I come from, when you transform a person into a piece of property, that's called slavery.
Yeah, I sat in jail for 5 months before my lawyer even came to see me. He told me, he said, only thing you can do for me, get me $25 to $99.
They trade their stock on Wall Street based upon the number of people that are in jail. If that isn't sick, if that isn't the best definition of sickness in a society, in a culture, in a civilization, I can't tell you what is.
Hey, everyone's welcome at CCA's prisons. No velvet rope here, mo bodies, mo profit. The company's been trending upwards since 2002 when the catch and release program became more catch and less release. good news for companies like CCA. With about 50% of the private prison market, CCA is the largest supplier of private prisons in America. They're in the business of housing and transporting criminals, and they do it on the cheap. How do they do it? Take a little mistreatment, mix in some non-union work, a lot of special sauce, and voila! Private prison surprise in just minutes. With the state looking the other way, they don't even need all those beds. But the company continues to grow regardless, with a 2007 goal of 4,000 to 6,000 new beds, and contracts popping up faster than you can say anal rape.
When you start letting private corporations start dictating how people that are incarcerated in society, regulating that and managing that, it opens up a Pandora's box, which we have seen as far as abuses and as far as civil rights violations, those kind of things.
Private prisons basically make their money on bodies, on inmates, on people. So they need to be, so for them to have a full prison is good. So it's not about trying to empty out the prison, it's trying to keep it filled.
From 1989 to 1998, the state of Mississippi saw per capita appropriation for corrections rise 115%. During that same 10-year period, per capita appropriations for the state's public colleges, universities, and other vital educational institutions stagnated, increasing by less than 1%.
I think private prisons have had a negative effect in many ways. I think, first of all, the funding, we had the Mississippi Adequate Education Act, and that was not fully funded. But private prisons they were fully funded.
According to Mississippi government officials, part of the private prison promise was that they would be easy on the state budget.
And in 1994, our correction budget was $46 million. And now, less than 10 years later, 8 years later, our budget is $264 million. Now, I don't know how you save money going from $46 million to $264 million, and they say we underfunded the budget this year.
The private prisons allege we can do it better than the government. That has not been demonstrated, and it has not been proven. And every instance that we have investigated, in fact, there's always an overrun. It almost costs almost millions of dollars more than they initially said they could do the job for.
It's not about rehabilitation. It's not about trying to change the face of poverty or eliminate crime. They benefit from crime, so they would just as soon see a steady flow of inmates coming from the larger community.
That steady flow of people into prisons has to be nurtured to ensure that it continues.
Yeah, I know I was singled out because I was black, black guy. And the Spanish and the black, we in big, big trouble.
Can't believe how wicked these people are to play games with your lives and the lives of your babies.
This call is from a federal prison.